Hi guys, before I start this video today, I want to say a massive thank you to Exotic Direct for sponsoring our video today. They insure leopard geckos as well as a range of other lizards, snakes, tortoise and other exotic pets. They are the only company that insures lizards and snakes in the UK and have over 1,600 on their books. They can cover up to £1,000 of vet fees for accidental injury and illness, and cover can also include death and theft. Also, they offer loads of advice on their websites about pet care, and they've also got some great articles, including one about best setups for leopard geckos. I'll leave their links in the description down below, so go check them out. But once again, thank you so much to them for sponsoring this video. Welcome to today's video where all my tanks are getting some TLC. Well, most of them. I'm going to be going around to the crested gecko, the chikuwa tank, maybe the ants and even the aquarium, giving it all a bit of TLC. And first of all, we're starting Lyra's tank, and Lyra, there's a leaf in front of my camera, Lyra is actually back on her mushroom ledge, which is a weird place for her to sleep, but that's where she's chosen. And her tank isn't too bad actually. I think it just needs a bit of a clear up and the walls need cleaning down a bit. I actually got some new plants just before Christmas that you can see here. There's lots of like dead plants on the floor, but I actually, when I cut anything down and put leaves, you know, dead leaves, I put them on the floor for the cleanup crew to break down because it helps with the soil. But yes, this one is going to probably be a quick little cleanup. Okay, so that wasn't too bad. A lot of it was just getting rid of these like old leaves, and I think it does actually benefit the plant to just get rid of them so they focus their energy on other things. With these leaves though, I will just chop them up, put them back in, so the floor is kind of like a leaf litter, which is a little hiding place and protection for the cleanup crew, and also food. And obviously if you've watched my video about the ecosystem, which I actually quite enjoyed making that video, but if you've ever seen that one, you can understand sort of the system and how it all works and how everything benefits each other. So I like to just pop this around here. But what I'm going to do now is give this tank a very good water, because even though I do spray down the tank every day, I think, you know, the soil just needs a little additional water. Now you can see the floor at the moment is bright green because this is where I've chopped up loads of leaves, so you get sort of the leaf litter scatter sort of thing of light. You'll notice this will actually reflect a lot of the light back up. Lyra is Lyra's still in her place, she's a bit more awake now. The only other thing I would do is probably, if you see here, this all the white markings from the water on the glass, I use the Exoterra glass cleaner for that, so I'll probably do that off camera because you may have seen my review on that. It's really good, you can see how to use it in that video. But that's probably it for Lyra's tank. Now let's go and see the ants. Okay, so with the ants, what I'm going to try to do is make sure everything is out of the outworld and just block it up. So we're going to take out some of the little bits here. So the thing that I usually put honey on, as you can see, they do all of this themselves. They just pull this off themselves. There is a dead ant on here because they obviously get rid of their dead. But luckily, I don't think we actually have any ants out here at the moment. So I'm just going to take some cotton wool and stuff this tube. Now obviously any sort of movement can disturb the colony. As you can see, they're like walking around quite a bit at the moment. So I have disconnected them just so I can give this a good clean quite easily. They still actually haven't moved into this new test tube that I put on like ages ago. So I'm going to take this all out, go downstairs and give this a good clean. Okay, so I gave that little clean out. I'm going to just put in their little water tower. So just a bit of additional water. I know you can put sugar water in here, but I find like it always goes really off really quickly. It's odd. Then I'm going to give them some brand new seeds. I'll put some honey on a bit of this. I just find it keeps it a lot cleaner in the tank. So here's a slightly better view of it, and as you can see, one of the workers had already come out. There's actually still tons and tons of workers. I know some people have been... Next up is the chikuwa tank. It is a bit of a mess at the moment. I've sort of let it grow as much as it can do, but as you can see, it's kind of been dying a little bit. And it's only recently I found out that that might be because the light I was using wasn't quite powerful enough. I was using a smaller jungle dawn for like years. Like, I've used it with Isla, and some of her plants would do well, but a lot just wouldn't really flourish. So now I've got a stronger one. I hope that will make a difference, but first of all, this needs tackling because a lot of it needs to go. A lot of it needs cutting down on properly watering, but first of all, what I'm going to do is clean this side, because as you can see, even the suction cups aren't really, you know, sticking because it's so dirty because of the water that's on here, and also because we have a lot of worms that will come up from the ground, bring dirt up and just sort of leave it here. And also you can see loads of like worm tunnels down the sides and along the bottom, which isn't a bad thing to actually aerate the soil. It's really good for drainage as well. But you can see they definitely leave their mark. Whilst we wait for that gel to do its job, we'll quickly check up on the plants. So one plant that's done really well in this tank is this Wandering Jew. So it started off as just a cutting from my other tank that I just threw in here, and it's gone from here all the way up the back, and now it's here. And all these little bits is just little offshoots, but it is got massive. That's probably the only plant that's done really well in here, honestly. So I think everything needs chopping down. So as you can see, most of the floor is like a leaf litter because a lot of these plants are just dying. One thing I did want to add in here is this pothos. So you may remember Isla had one, and it was one of her healthiest plants, and I wanted to keep it. So I had something of hers. This is actually, part of it has grown off since, you know, I'd taken it out and it's grown independently. So I'm going to pop it back in, because if you ever need a plant that will grow really well, get like types of pothos. They are just really good at growing. So I'm going to pop it in there and hope for the best. Up here I've put, I think they're petunias. Now this planter is actually quite dry. I think I need to get some more like earth mix or something to go in there, because I don't know how good the soil is at all. But what I'm going to do is put them in there, keep watering, hope for the best. Anthurium is the same. I had to chop a lot of it back, but I'm going to keep it watered and hopefully it grows. So right now this tank looks a bit of a train wreck, but you know, hopefully as we go into spring everything will just come back alive again. And finally, I'm going to sort out this aquarium. As you may know, I've had this for like nearly a year now, and it's never really taken off. I have ember tetras in here and snails. I did have 3 shrimp, but over the course of the time I've had this tank, unfortunately they have gradually passed away. As you can see, it is covered in algae, and I thought originally it was like this because of the position of the tank, so I actually ended up moving the tank into a different room. I actually replaced the last aquarium, but still the algae has come back. So what I'm doing today is I'm going to remove all this algae, or as much as possible, and I'm going to be planting grass. This grass is actually from my boyfriend's tank, he has grown so much of it and it sort of outcompeted the algae in his tank, so I'm hoping it will do that with mine. However, my luck is not very good with aquariums. As you can see, I have covered the ground in this grass. It's equally apart from each other, so eventually it should hopefully cover the entire floor. I think the fish I have do prefer some bigger plants, but that will be in the future. But anyway, I hope you have enjoyed today's video. If you are wondering what happens when it comes to things like gecko poop in these natural tanks, I do have cleanup crew in the crested gecko and chikuwa tanks, so they take care of everything like that. With the leopard geckos, I still need to clean up after them, but other than that, I hope you've enjoyed today's video. Once again, thank you so much to the sponsor of this video. I still see myself as a fairly small channel, and January in particular is quite tricky for creators, especially with AdSense. It's just non-existent, so I really do appreciate them sponsoring this video. But anyway, thank you very much for watching, guys, and goodbye.